What's happening, everybody? On today's show, our conversation from SEC Media Days with LSU head coach Brian Kelly as he prepares to coach his first season in the SEC. We also catch up with LSU linebacker Mike Jones, who thinks this could be his best season yet in 2022. And we'll go around the conference. Did Nick Saban almost leave Alabama after the Kick 6 game? Locked on SEC starts right now.
Are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is happening, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along. I'm Chris Gordy. Thanks for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube and at LockedOnSEC.com. Let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Takes the handoff. What a catch!
Around the conference.
And we start with Nick Saban, as an interesting story came out as a new book written by John Talty of Ale.com. The book is called The Leadership Secrets of Nick Saban. And according to the new book, the legendary Alabama coach almost left Tuscaloosa to take a job at ESPN following the iconic Kick 6 loss to Auburn in 2013. The book reports after the season, Saban asked Nick Khan, who was a sports media talent agent at CAA, who represented several big-name media personalities, to begin discussions with ESPN. Saban is said to have zeroed in on the possibility of joining ESPN's College Game Day and even met with several people to discuss it and ask what it was like working on a team with the folks at ESPN. Saban, of course, did not leave coaching and has won 3 more national titles since that iconic loss at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So it has worked out for him, but you have to wonder, is that maybe a direction Saban will go down the road once he does hang up coaching? Very interesting to follow that. Meanwhile, the Jim Thorpe Award, they released their watch list on Monday, naming 35 of the nation's top defensive backs for the 2022 season. The award given out annually to the top DB in college football, and several players from the SEC making the list. Jordan Battle from Alabama, Jalen Catalon from Arkansas, friend of the show, Antonio Johnson from Texas A&M, Keely Ringo from Georgia, Cam Smith at South Carolina, and Christopher Smith at Georgia. So obviously some names to watch and a good opportunity for any of those guys to be named the best DB in all of college football. CBS Sports put out their annual rankings of the best college sports programs across many sports. And Michigan, once again on top for the second time in 3 seasons. But the SEC landed 6 teams in the top 20. Ole Miss came in at 16, Kentucky at 15, Tennessee at 13, Georgia at 9, Alabama 8, and Arkansas at 5. In 2013, CBS Sports began presenting their Best in College Sports Award, utilizing a weighted formula that recognizes sports with more broad interest. Every FBS program is rated in 3 sports: football, men's basketball, and women's basketball. And there are also 2 wild cards among the school's most successful spectator sports, including baseball, softball, volleyball, soccer, gymnastics, etc. So while Georgia won the College Football National Championship in football, it finished 9th overall. It received no points in men's basketball. Well, take that for what you will. It is what it is. Something cool to look at if your school's on this list, but doesn't hold a whole lot of credence in a lot of places. The Fiesta Bowl will be a top-tier bowl game this season. It will be a college football playoff semifinal, and with the increased visibility comes a new title sponsor in Verbo. VRBO. The New Year's Six Bowl will kick off on Saturday, December 31st, with 2 of the nation's 4 highest-ranking teams battling for a spot in the College Football National Championship. And a release by the Fiesta Bowl shared that both organizations have a rich history for their innovation and for bringing together to make people together to make memories that last a lifetime. So, of course, we've had everything from the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, tons of different sponsors throughout the years. And now this year it will be the Verbo Fiesta Bowl. This season will be the 52nd annual game in bowl history, the third college football semifinal at the Fiesta Bowl. And in a basketball recruiting news nugget, Justin Edwards, the number 3 overall player in the 2023 class, was down to Kentucky and Tennessee for his commitments. And on Monday, the 5-star forward out of the Philadelphia area made his decision live on CBS Sports HQ. And he is headed to Kentucky. Per the 24/7 Sports Composite ranking, Edwards is the number 1 small forward in this class, the number 1 overall recruit from the state of Pennsylvania. Kentucky now has 3 players in their 2023 basketball recruiting class that ranks number 3 in the nation, according to 24/7 Sports. So we'll see what other big names Kentucky can add to their recruiting class under Coach John Calipari. And there you have it. That is the latest news going on around the conference. Coming up next, our conversation with LSU head coach Brian Kelly. Thank you guys for making us your first listen every day. First, I want to remind you about our friends at Built Bar. If you have not tried the Built Bar Puffs yet, you are depriving yourselves of one of life's greatest joys. There is a new flavor. It is covered in chocolate, delicious, indulgent cookie dough. Built has done it again. The cookie dough chunk puffs have a light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course covered in 100% real chocolate. All the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it, and it is healthy for you. Cookie dough chunk puffs, only 160 calories, and have a whopping 15 grams of protein in them. Go to Built.com right now, snag a box for you and your family. It'll be the perfect treat, or you can find a really good hiding spot and just hoard them for yourself. Like all Built bars, the new cookie dough chunk puff is covered in 100% chocolate. And again, really, really good to taste. You are going to love the new cookie dough chunk puff. Whether you need a snack for your workout, late night treat, whatever it is, ditch the calories, fat, and sugar, and grab yourself a Built bar. Go to Built.com right now. Use our promo code LOCKED15. It'll get you 15% off your order. Use our promo code LOCKED15 over at Built.com. Rolling along here, and always good to catch up with a guy who's a head coach in the SEC, a new head coach in the SEC, but a guy who's been doing it a long time. Great to get you on in the city of Houston. LSU head coach Brian Kelly. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, Coach, I got to come clean. I've always thought of you as a no-nonsense guy, a guy who demands excellence. But I'm talking to your players today, they're like, oh, Coach Kelly is hilarious. Like, what is this?
Well, you got to have some fun along the way, too. I mean, you can't be serious all the time. And look, every time you guys see me, I'm in my office working right on the sideline.
Right.
There is another side of me, too, right? But everything is about what you see on NBC, and there's more sides to you. But, hey, I love the fact that, when you get a chance to go to a new school like LSU, your players get a chance to see you who you really are, and we've had a great time building that relationship.
What's been the most challenging part so far of the new job?
Well, I think early on, putting the staff together, we had to put a lot of support staff together, getting our organizational people together, a roster that was depleted, making sure that we were able to really put together a competitive SEC football team. Look, you don't get a pass the first year. You got to go win some football games. So I think that was probably the most difficult time, and we were having to deal with, some self-imposed sanctions as well, and all those things combined made it a challenge. Not anything that we didn't expect coming in, but you put all those things together and make for a challenge. I think we're coming out on the other end now where, we really can focus on our football team, developing our team, and, getting a chance to play a little football, and it's going to be fun.
We saw you in Houston. You weren't coaching the team yet, but for the bowl game. But, I mean, was that kind of like an eye-opening, my God, like this roster, and depleted for different reasons, but, man, I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah, I think at that point it became one where this is daunting in a sense that, we've got a wide receiver that's a walk-on playing quarterback here. This is going to be some work. But, quite honestly, I think we knew as you pull back the layers that we had a number of players injured that were going to be coming back. We had some guys with academic issues that we thought we were going to fix. So I think all in all, I think that was kind of I hate to say this, but let's try to be competitive in this game and put our best foot forward and play hard. But better days are ahead.
A lot of people have their problems with the transfer portal. There's some good, there's some bad, but you took advantage of it, and you helped address a lot of needs. What's that kind of done for you this offseason?
Yeah, I think we used it the right way. I mean, look, the transfer portal could really hurt you if you take the wrong kids, and it upsets what you're trying to do. But, we were all kind of starting on this, same kind of, basic premise of, bring kids in that are from Louisiana if you can, that have a love and passion for LSU. And if not, then make sure it's good character kids that are the best players on their team. So I think we stayed with that. We were committed to it, and it's helped our football team.
It looks like you've kind of hit the ground running with recruiting. I know you can't talk about specific guys, but the Houston area is a very important area. LSU's always recruited them well. What advantages do you have coming over from Notre Dame? I mean, you recruited everywhere.
Yeah. The contacts that we have, the ability to set up a personnel office that can stretch all the way across the country, I think has been helpful for me in terms of my vision, in terms of how we put together our personnel office. It's split. 80% of it is obviously high school talent. A little bit, 20% we'll keep an eye on the transfer portal. But I think that's helped quite a bit to allow us to do our recruiting in the state of Louisiana, and then obviously stretching into some important areas that you mentioned, like Houston and the state of Texas.
How excited are you to just be able to run out that tunnel for the first time in Death Valley?
Yeah, I mean, it's a long time coming. We had the spring game, but that's nothing like that first time when we were going to play Southern at night, and that stadium will be sold out. And just to get that atmosphere is, one of the bucket lists, right? Who wouldn't want to be able to have that? So excited about that opportunity.
I've seen you on the practice field in the shorts and the light shirt. I mean, temperature a little bit different, right?
Quite a bit. Listen, I played golf a couple of weeks ago in Baton Rouge, and it was like I never, this dripping sweat.
Are you a sweater like me? I'm a sweater.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, look, I love to play golf, but I don't know if I want to play in this kind of weather. So, it's going to be a different climate. But, look, when you're coaching and you love what you're doing, just drink a lot of water, you'll be fine.
Short drive for fans, LSU fans all along the I-10 corridor to come see you guys opening the season with Florida State.
Yeah.
I mean, look, sometimes you get an easier team, I guess, and sometimes you get a big dog like that. It's a big one to start your career,
right? That's a
right?
tough team. Yeah, no, Florida State's no joke. I mean, this is going to be a good football team. When I was at Notre Dame, they took us to overtime, and it's a team that's going to play physical, fast, well coached. Mike Nord he's a winner. Norvell won at Memphis, and he's got a really good pedigree, and he'll have that team ready to play. We'll have to play well.
Coach, thanks so much for the time. I know you got to run, and really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
All right, thank you.
You can ride all day long. Another Mike Diesel production.
When you hear that song, it means it's time to welcome in the one and only Mike Jones from LSU. Mike Jones, welcome in, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. It's fun. I caught up with you last summer and talked about your transition coming over from Clemson to LSU, and a year at LSU. You feel settled into the SEC now, and I know it's so much faster than the ACC, right?
Yeah, man. I feel a lot more settled, man, and I'm just really appreciative to be where I'm at, man. I got it now. It has been different. It is a completely different staff, and so it's been a lot of changes. But I've adjusted well, man, and our whole staff they've done a great job of just developing a relationship with guys, man. And so it's been good. And I'm excited for this year.
I have to think, like, you go back on your recruiting trips and you're getting recruited by Dabo Sweeney at Clemson and all this. I mean, Brian Kelly's at Notre Dame. Like, did you ever envision, hey, I'm going to be playing for Brian Kelly one day? Like, it's crazy.
One thing that's actually hilarious, whenever I got into the portal, I came down to 3 schools, and one of them was LSU, and one of the other ones was Notre Dame.
Wow. So you could have ended up playing there for Brian Kelly. Let's talk a little bit. I know you were excited about last year, but I'll say some outsiders or critics or whatever, we're talking about the fit with Durante Jones when he came in, and is it going to be a more traditional style 4-3 defense? But it looked like as the season went along, you got more comfortable in that defense. Was that reality?
Yeah. So earlier on, we were playing a lot of like a 4-2-5. We had a nickel and 2 backers, and then we ended up making the switch to we had 3 backers on the field, and I was playing a lot of that more overhang role that I played at Clemson, and so once we made that switch, at that point, it has been doing what I'd been doing the past, 3 years. And so I was just able to just go out there and not really have to even think whenever I was playing. It was just natural. That was, the really natural thing for me then.
You did have a sack last season. Lo and behold, it was against the eventual Heisman Trophy winner, Bryce Young. Is that one a little more special? Because you can always look back and say, "Yeah, I sacked a Heisman winner."
I will tell my grandchildren about that.
You were one of the few regular starters that did play in the Texas Bowl. I was there. It was rough just because you guys had so many players unavailable for that game. But how weird was it to play in that game with the roster decimated like it was?
It was definitely an interesting experience. It was a challenge, but I think it speaks a lot to just LSU and who we are, man. We're gonna fight, man. We're gonna play. And situation might not look the best. We're gonna go out there and compete, and we're gonna do it the best we can. And we came up short, but it was still a great experience. And I had fun.
I was there. Alex Bregman from the Astros. He's an LSU grad and fan, and he had a big tailgate and all that, and we'd been out there partying. So I think most LSU fans, by the time we got in the stadium, we didn't even know who was playing. We were just there to watch football. So I think most of us forgot it by now. Talk to me about your new defensive coordinator, Matt House, because he comes in highly recommended by another former Tiger, and Tyrann Mathieu. Been a linebackers coach the last few years with the Kansas City Chiefs, so he knows what it takes to get to the pros. What has it been like getting to know Coach House?
Man, it's been great getting to know Coach House, man. I really feel like Coach House has changed my life, man, in all aspects of it, man. Helping me develop as a leader, teaching me things, just developing more as a man, as a person, developing physically, what I need to do on the field, and also, the mental aspect of, being a Mike linebacker, man. He's taught me a lot about, myself and about the expectations in all of those areas. And so I'm super appreciative of him and, so glad I get to work with him the rest of this year.
And it's like a guy coming straight from the pros who better than to tell you, oh, this is what you're going to need to know to play at the next level, right?
Absolutely. everything he says to me, I am writing it down, taking notes. I'm going to do exactly what he tells me to do.
A lot of folks are saying, and I was reading, preseason stuff and all this, and there are some folks saying that this could be your best year as a college defender. So I'll just ask this. What are some of the things you've worked on specifically in your game this offseason?
Man, the main thing for me in playing in the box was just learning how to take on blocks and be efficient, and getting my footwork right. And so, you get a spring of that, and that's something I was focusing on during the summer. I've gotten a lot comfortable in it, and, I do believe that's going to be my best year. It will be. I'd be really shocked if it doesn't, man. I got a lot of confidence coming into this year, and I got a lot of confidence in the guys around me and the staff as well. I believe in myself, and I really believe in those people as well. And when you have, all those factors weighing in, I feel like it's going to be a fun one.
We talked with LSU linebacker Mike Jones. You spent the first part of your college career at Clemson in the ACC. You opened this season with an ACC team in Florida State, though I don't think you ever personally played against Clemson. Can you give any intel on Florida State coming from your time at Clemson?
Yeah, so I played against Florida State a couple times. Early on, I remember they had just gotten rid of Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo had just left.
Right.
And so I remember we prepared for Texas A&M, and we were watching Florida State film. It was like freshman year or something like that.
Wow.
I know, those guys are going to come in ready to play, though. I do remember they had a really athletic quarterback. I remember we were about to play him, and we actually had our game canceled due to COVID before. But I remember he had, some insane game rushing before. And, of course, they're going to have athletes. It's Florida State. It'll be a good one. It'll be a fun game.
And it's in New Orleans, so you're going to have a little bit of a pro LSU crowd, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What did you make of some of the other new faces of guys who joined this offseason? Because the transfer portal, you mentioned, very active, but you guys, Bernard Converse was banged up, but you had Joe Fouché, Greg Brooks come in from Arkansas, Mekhi Gardner from ULL, Mekhi Wingo from Mizzou, and, of course, Seven Banks joins the party late from Ohio State. But what stood out from some of those new guys in the group?
Man, every single dude you just named in that group, man, came into LSU with a mindset that was, they're going to put themselves in the best position to go out there and play. And that's one thing, one reason why I think, things went so well with us. like it was so easy to mesh with those guys, and I feel like I've been playing with those guys for so long because they just immediately met the standard, and Coach House, he's going to demand a lot of us, but all of us we met, and of course you got to get better, and we all got better throughout the thing, man. But from communication to just the ways those guys handle themselves, you could tell they're veteran guys, when they all came here with a purpose of trying to play their best football and go to the NFL.
Has it been cool getting to know Coach Kelly, though? I mean, and look, we like Coach O for, they're just two different style of coaches, but have you liked getting to know Coach Brian Kelly?
Absolutely, man. Coach Kelly, he's awesome, man. He's a real players coach, and he be having me laughing, man. Coach Kelly, he's hilarious. he got some good jokes.
That's what we've heard. He's got a sneaky sense of humor. He seems all business all the time, but he's a little
That's
sneaky.
what I thought he was gonna be, man. But he has me cracking up a lot of times.
And he says the word family like family, right? That was all just a misstep.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
We're talking with Mike Jones. Now, I've got, from LSU, I've got a little beef with you. So I follow you on Twitter. You don't follow me. But check this out. The real Mike Jones follows me. So I got the real Mike Jones follows me, but not you. So I feel like I got to get you to follow me on Twitter.
I got you, man. We can get that done right now.
We'll get that handled. If I see the real Mike Jones, do you have anything you want me to tell him? I can DM him right now. We can tell him what's up.
You can tell him that his music has played such a huge role in my life.
Really?
I cannot now go anywhere without hearing who Mike Jones.
So the ironic part is, like, when I grew up, when I was at LSU, his music was all we listened to all through LSU.
Yeah.
And then when LSU gets a player named Mike Jones, we're like, this is too perfect.
Yeah, no, it's trust me, I enjoy it. I very much enjoy it.
Did you ever consider going? No, I go by Michael. No,
man, my mama, she'll call me Michael whenever she's mad, and sometimes my grandmother. But other than that, I'm Mike or Mikey or.
So that people do call you Mikey?
Yeah, my mama, she'll call me Mikey too. My sisters call me Mikey.
But not your teammates, or it might be a problem.
No, yeah, I mean that's not a problem. You call me what you want, but. I'm kind of a little bit old for Mikey.
Right. All right. Last thing for you. What do you do when Mike Jones is not playing football? What are you doing in your downtime?
Call of Duty Warzone.
Really?
Yes,
okay,
sir.
So you're a gamer.
I'm not a true gamer. Like, I have some friends. My freshman roommate at Clemson, Xavier Thomas, he's a gamer.
Okay.
He's way better than me.
He could be you.
Oh, yeah. When I play with him, he's going to lead the team to the victory, not me. But I have fun, and I get really competitive with it, I'm just not that good.
You're not that good.
I have my days, man. I have my good days where I'll play great, and then I'll have days where it will just be a terrible day.
See, I was always the guy, like, if you need a sniper, I'll go sit somewhere and I'll just take people out. But, like, just bulldozing into doorways and just shooting, like, I'm not good at that. You got to be coordinated.
I bulldoze in, and it'd be like, why'd you even go in there? Why'd you even go in there? You didn't even wait for the team, and now we're playing without somebody.
There was an old video, Leroy Jenkins. Google that, YouTube it. It's a great video, but it was a guy who did that. The team is meeting to discuss. He just bulldozes in and yells Leroy Jenkins and goes. So that's your homework assignment. Mike Jones, good to catch up with you, man. Good to see you. Thanks so much for the time.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate it.
All right, more here from SEC Media Days. All right, that is just about going to do it for this edition of Locked On SEC. My thanks again to Brian Kelly, LSU head coach, and LSU linebacker Mike Jones. We will talk to you guys later this week right here on Locked On SEC. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out some of our other great podcasts all along the Locked On Podcast Network. We cover other conferences. We got Locked On Big 12, Locked On Big 12, Big 10, Locked On Pac-12. Every conference covered for you. And, of course, all our other great SEC schools that you're looking for, we got you covered as well. Check them out wherever you find your podcasts. I'm Chris Gordy. Talk to you guys real soon.